Hi guys, so the DUP or Democratic Unionist Party in Northern Ireland are in a bit of a fix at the moment. They backed Brexit with the hope that it would force the UK as a whole out of the European Union. At the time, people familiar with Northern Ireland raised the issue of borders. The response from the DUP was that was scaremongering, that borders would not be an issue. They ignored the warnings and ploughed ahead with convincing their supporters to back Brexit. Northern Ireland in the end supported Remain, but the DUP held out hope that a border would be erected on the island of Ireland. The British government balked at the idea and in the end agreed to put a border in the Irish Sea. The DUP bet the farm and lost, but instead of coming to terms with their loss, they wanted things changed. This brings us to Gregory Campbell MP. Wait till you hear what he said about what could have happened.
And the person who signed that up, as you've rightly pointed out, was the Prime Minister Boris Johnson. What? He's still the Prime Minister. I mean, did you trust him at all?
Well, we didn't trust him.
He sold you down the river, didn't he?
Well, we didn't trust him the last time round, but he was the Prime Minister, and he is the Prime Minister. And the last time round, whenever Theresa May was in post, the choice was her or Jeremy Corbyn. No unionist, no person in their right mind wanting to promote the United Kingdom would want Jeremy Corbyn in number 10 Downing Street.
Now, the ironic thing about this is that if Jeremy Corbyn had become Prime Minister, two possibilities could have happened. There could have been two possibilities. He could have called a second referendum, and if there was a second referendum, it was likely that the Remain side would have won, and then the UK would not have left the European Union. There would be no need for checks on the border because the UK would remain part of the European Union. There would be no Northern Ireland Protocol because the UK as a whole remained part of the European Union. Or I'm pretty sure if he had been elected Prime Minister and he hadn't supported a second referendum, the UK would have still remained part of the single market and the customs union, which would have meant no border on the island of Ireland and no border in the Irish Sea. Once again, no need for a Northern Ireland Protocol. Now, let's imagine if we could put Gregory Campbell in a time machine with the knowledge he has today and go back in time. Do you think he would vote for Brexit? Well, logically you would say, well, of course not. He wouldn't vote for Brexit. No, he voted for Brexit because his hatred of the European Union and Ireland is stronger than any love for the Union. These people continue to support Brexit, even though they know it's damaging the Union.
So it wasn't a great choice, but it was one or the other. It was Theresa May or Jeremy Corbyn. Now we've got Boris Johnson. He needs to man up. He needs to deliver what he said he would deliver.
I have to laugh at this because Gregory Campbell is telling Boris Johnson to man up. Does anyone honestly believe that Boris Johnson is going to listen to Gregory Campbell? Like, Gregory Campbell was voted in as an MP with 15,765 votes. He's not listening to you. He doesn't listen to me. I have 85,000 subscribers, Gregory, and Boris Johnson doesn't listen to me. I know we're comparing apples and oranges here, but Boris Johnson doesn't listen to people within his own party. What makes you think that he's going to listen to you? You have zero influence over Boris Johnson. I have zero influence over Boris Johnson.
Which is free unfettered trade on an east-west basis and on a west-east basis. We know there will always be free trade on a north-south basis because you can't physically stop that with 300 crossing points. But he needs to deliver what he told us he would, free unfettered trade on an east-westerly and a west-easterly direction.
He needs to... Boris Johnson has been making promises that he breaks since Boris Johnson has been on this planet, I'm pretty sure. Certainly over the last number of decades. Boris Johnson is a liar. He came to Northern Ireland at the end of last year and he met with business leaders and he told them there will be no border in the Irish Sea. He told them that there will be no checks taking place. And when he was saying this, I was flabbergasted because but we know that there's a border it's been built at the moment. He even said it in January this year. He said there's no border in the Irish Sea. when his ministers were talking about, yes, we need to implement these checks and the paperwork and everything. Like, at what stage will the DUP realize that they have been conned? They have been duped by the Tories. Not just by Boris Johnson, but by the Tories. Why I say that is because when it came to Brexit and it came to protecting the Union, Brexiteers on every occasion prioritised Brexit. They've done it. It's not just me seeing it. Many people can see that. So you'd surely think that the DUP could see that. The best thing for the DUP now is to support the protocol. They think that if they protest enough against it, they will break it. But they're just creating a situation where they are becoming less and less relevant. They need to change and start talking about other issues. Talk about the real concerns of people in Northern Ireland. Jobs, the environment, education, transport, things like this. Not the protocol. The public are not concerned with the protocol. They're concerned with bread and butter issues. And the more the DUP bang on about the protocol, I think the more damage they're doing to their support base. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think about all of this. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot. I want to say a big thank you to all of my patrons. You ensure that this channel continues to exist. I'm eternally grateful for all of your support. If you join Patreon, you will receive instant access to our Discord server, where we have both audio and video chats. You can chat with me and other patrons, where we discuss important and non-important issues. Becoming a patron per month costs about the same as a large coffee, so why not check it out?